Hi and welcome. We're really excited today. My name is Derek Feldman. We've got a great interview person with us today. It's Carol Phillips. She's with Brand Amplitude. And I'm really excited that Carol's with us. She's got an incredible background and really a great expert on millennials and what's happening with them. And before we get started and ask her to join us here, let me give you a little bit of her background. Carol actually is the president and founder of Brand Amplitude. And the firm focuses on millennials and brand and marketing overall for both companies and nonprofits, which is really where our focus is today. Before Brand Amplitude, she was the director of marketing communications at Whirlpool. She's been at several agencies, leading agencies around the country, Y&R, Leo Burnett, Mullen, JWT. And so she definitely has the experience as well as the knowledge as our topic today around millennials and nonprofits. So let's go ahead and get Carol on here. Carol, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here, Derek. Thanks for having me.
It's wonderful. I really appreciate it. Well, go ahead, Carol. For some of us that may not know Brand Amplitude or Millennial Marketing, which is your other company, tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing and maybe how you got to this place with focusing on millennials.
Sure. Brand Amplitude has been around since 2002. We started as I left Whirlpool Corporation and started teaching at the University of Notre Dame. I'm an adjunct professor there, and I teach marketing and brand strategy. And so the two companies the two efforts really started together. And when I started Brand Amplitude, we were a general market research and brand strategy consulting firm with clients like JCPenney, did also some work for Whirlpool, as well as restaurants and retailers. And what I found increasingly was that my work at the university was informing my work for my clients. And one day I just decided to write out some of my observations about my marketing students and what they do and don't know about marketing. And Ad Age ran that article under the heading of what millennials don't know about marketing. And, a new career was born. At that time I didn't even know the word millennial. This was 2004, I believe, and we were just starting to recognize that they were different. I was seeing that in the classroom, and it just became a passion point.
Excellent. Well, Carol, so everybody's wondering, I think there's just a fascination around millennials, and whether it's nonprofits or corporations, everybody's trying to gather their attention, obviously to not only advance nonprofit missions or corporations when it comes to buying and so on. What else is sort of fueling this excitement around millennials that we're often hearing about?
Well, I think that's an excellent question, Derek, because youth marketing has been around for a very long time. There are companies that are very good at it, and they are both on the marketing side and on the supplier side. But what's different, I think, about this generation is that they grew up at a time when it was very different from when the rest of us grew up, and so they are shaped differently. And the ways that they've been shaped are really bellwethers for how all of us tend to act eventually. So they are more trendsetters than perhaps generations in the past, and those trends are migrating up a lot faster than they used to migrate up. And I'm speaking primarily about technology, but technology is such a pervasive force these days that it has a lot of ripple effects. So it isn't just that they text a lot, it's that they actually consume information differently. And the ways that they're consuming information now are probably leading indicators of how everyone will eventually.
Absolutely. And Carol, so for some of us who work in the nonprofit field, what do you think are 3 to 5 things that you think are the most important things for nonprofit professionals to know, and fundraisers really to know about millennials that you think it's important to their job?
Sure. Well, I have a point of view about consumer behavior that isn't unique, but it informs everything we do, and that is that if you really want to understand how somebody thinks or how they behave, you need to understand their values. And it's not enough to just observe what people do. You have to understand why they're behaving the way they're behaving. And with millennials, there are some core values that are perhaps not totally unique to them, but are very important and help our clients as well as nonprofits, I think, could benefit from understanding these. So the 5 that I would say are the most important right now would be, first of all, making a difference. This is a generation that is idealistic, as a lot of young people are, but they truly intend to live it out, and we're already seeing that in their behavior. They are making different kinds of choices than perhaps other generations have made. They also have a strong value of teamwork. They understand that if we all work together, we can do a lot more than we can individually. And I think that gets a little lost sometimes because they are so self-expressive and this whole concept of personal branding. But underlying it all is really a deep need for connection and wanting to be part of a larger group. I think those are two values in particular that nonprofits can leverage. There are others, I think, that they are interested in living more minimally. This gets exhibited in their passion for the environment, but also in sustainability, but also just not being perhaps as much of the consumer culture as other generations have been. They're choosing to opt out of a lot of things, like buying cars. When I was the age of millennials, everybody had a driver's license, and a lot of us had cars. About half as many millennials have a driver's license at age 16 as they did in 1965 or 1975.
Wow. Wow. Interesting.
There's a cachet to taking the bus now that there wasn't before.
Exactly. So I think there's this frustration on the part of other marketers, nonprofit marketers, and others that what they're frustrated with is that there have been marketing initiatives, campaigns, those kinds of things come out, and they're not getting the attention or the interest of millennials. What is your sort of view on some of the top things that marketers are doing wrong when it comes to trying to attract millennials?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think this has been pretty well covered other places, so I'll be brief. I mean, the main thing to do wrong is just assume that you can put a message out there and they'll see it. They have incredible filters for ignoring advertising. When I'm in my classes and I ask them about something that I saw on television, even if it ran in like the Olympics, something that I assume they've seen, I'm always shocked at how few have actually seen it. It's not that they're watching less television or reading fewer magazines. In fact, in those two media in particular, they're reading more. It's just that they truly don't see the advertising. They have filters. They have destination things that they're watching. They're using DVRs in order to speed through the commercials. So you really can't assume that they're going to see your advertising. The flip side of that is that marketing that really has value to them, they not only see it, they share it. So there's a multiplier effect. So if you actually can come up with something that has usefulness or utility, it can be incredibly powerful.